I went off the grid for 3 days to clear my head. When I turned my phone back on, everything I thought I knew about my marriage shattered. Hey folks, thanks for coming back, and for those joining for the first time, I'm grateful you're here. Today I've got something new to share, a story that's been weighing on me and I finally feel ready to let it out. So let's start from the beginning. The early morning sun had just begun to stretch its golden fingers across the treetops when I opened my eyes. There was this faint chorus of mountain birds echoing through the valley, like a gentle reminder that I was far from the noise of everyday life. I stayed still for a moment, listening. Tiny feet scampered through the underbrush, chipmunks probably, digging around for whatever was left of last night's dinner scraps. For a brief, fleeting moment I felt peace. The kind of calm that I hadn't felt in years. Just the pure, undisturbed stillness of nature. But that sense of peace didn't last long. It was quickly smothered by the reality of what the day would bring. Up here at 6,000 feet, the mountain air was sharp and clean, like it could slice through the fog in my mind. It woke me up, jolted my senses a bit. I stepped out of the tent and was hit by the kind of beauty that takes your breath away. An alpine lake lay in front of me, perfectly still, like glass. The snow-draped peaks behind it reflected on the surface, untouched and majestic. It felt like I had stumbled into another world, one that didn't know pain or betrayal. I wanted badly to lose myself in that feeling, to let go of everything back home. I thought maybe if I threw a line into the water and sat there long enough, I could fish the pain right out of me. But I knew better. I knew what today was. Today was the day I'd been dreading, the day everything would come to a head. No more avoiding it. No more pretending. I kept breakfast simple, just some eggs and sausage cooked on my little propane stove, with a strong cup of black coffee to keep my hands warm. I sat there quietly as I ate, trying to hold on to the moment, the sight of the lake, the sound of the wind in the trees, the smell of pine and campfire smoke. Even in the middle of all this heartache, life was still offering me these tiny pockets of joy, reminding me I wasn't completely lost. Not yet. I made a promise to myself that morning. This wasn't going to be my last time out here. I was going to keep hiking, keep camping, keep fishing. These were the things that once made me feel whole. Somewhere along the way I let them slip away. Or maybe I handed them over, willingly, believing I was trading them in for something greater. 23 years of marriage will do that to a person. You give up bits of yourself thinking it's for love, real love. But now I see things more clearly. The woman I thought I knew, the one I had put above everything else, she doesn't exist anymore. Or maybe she never did. Maybe I just saw what I wanted to see. But even after everything, I'm not giving up on hope. Some say I'm too much of an optimist, but I still believe there's someone out there who might truly see me, really see me, for who I am. Not for what I can provide or how well I can hide my pain, but for the person underneath all of it. The hike back down to my car was quiet, 6 long miles and not a single other person crossed my path. Just me, my thoughts, and the trail winding its way through the trees. When I finally made it back to my car, I stood still for a second and took a long, steady breath, trying to brace myself for what was coming. The peace of the mountains was about to vanish, and I could already feel the weight of the world creeping back in. I loaded my gear, climbed into the driver's seat and turned the key. As the engine rumbled to life, I hesitated for a moment, then powered my phone back on. 3 full days off the grid. Not a single call, text, or email. I needed that silence. But the moment my phone lit up, it all came crashing back. The screen lit up like a Christmas tree, notifications poured in, one after another. Messages, emails, missed calls. It was everything I expected, and somehow still more overwhelming than I'd prepared for. Reality, the one I'd temporarily outrun, was there waiting, demanding I return to it. Among all the noise, one message stood out right away. It was from my son, Ryan. He's 21 now, grown, independent, but more than just my kid, he's become my best friend. We'd been through the ringer during his teenage years, navigating a storm of arguments and late-night talks, but what came out of it was a bond nothing could break. His message was short, but it hit me right in the chest. Dad, I love you and I support you. Good luck today. Keep your head up. Somewhere down the road, this darkness will lift. Reading his words, I felt a lump form in my throat. My eyes welled up before I could even stop them. It wasn't just what he said, it was the timing, the steadiness in his voice. Somehow, his words gave me the strength I needed to face what was next. Then I saw a message from my daughter, Krista. She's 24 now, living her own life, but she'll always be my little girl. Dad, I wish I could give you a hug right now and tell you it's going to be okay. You've always been the kind of father every kid hopes for, selfless, strong, and full of love. Now it's your turn to take care of yourself. No matter how things turn out, Ryan and I love you more than anything. We're right here always. I read it twice. Maybe 3 times. Krista has her mother's face, at least the younger version I fell in love with, but thankfully she inherited my restless nature and my dry sense of humor. Linda never really understood either of those things. But Krista? She gets it. She gets me. In that moment I realized something that cut through the fog. My kids were my anchor. My purpose. My greatest accomplishment. No matter how the day ended, no matter what came next, I still had them. And that was more than enough. I paused, took another deep breath, and slowly started scrolling through the missed calls. 10 in total. All from Linda. The first few were time-stamped during her supposed business trip to Las Vegas. The trip I now knew was nothing more than a cover. The last 3 came in after she had returned home and realized I wasn't there. No car in the driveway. No text. No explanation. I didn't need to hear her voice to know what those voicemails sounded like. I could picture it perfectly, the rising frustration, the disbelief, maybe even fear at first. But by the last few I was sure it had morphed into full-blown anger. Especially when she stood at the airport curb, bags in hand, and realized I wasn't coming to get her. And for the first time in a long time I didn't feel guilty. I didn't even flinch when I saw the voicemails. I skipped right past them and hit delete, all of them gone without a second thought. I didn't need to hear her voice pleading or justifying, not after everything. Then came the texts. Around 20 of them, one after the other. The first few tried to play sweet, these syrupy declarations of love that rang hollow the second I read them. Empty words. They reeked of guilt, not remorse, like she was trying to patch up a hole without ever acknowledging she'd torn it open. But as the hours went by and I stayed silent, her tone shifted. Fast. The softness vanished. In its place came fury. Each message grew sharper, colder, every word laced with resentment, her frustration bleeding through the screen. The final message said it all. Just 3 words, each letter shouting in all caps. WTF Jack. That was her breaking point, not out of heartbreak, not because she feared losing me, but because for the first time in over 2 decades, I had stepped out of character. I wasn't playing the part she had always relied on, the steady husband, the quiet forgiver, the man who turned a blind eye just to keep the peace. And that's what stung the most. Not just the betrayal itself, but how effortlessly she ignored everything I'd been feeling. Did she really not see how distant we had become? How the love I'd once poured into her had slowly drained away over the years? Or maybe she saw it and just didn't care. The cheating hurt, I won't pretend it didn't, but the deeper wound came from her complete disregard for everything we'd built together. Our family. Our history. Our life. It all seemed disposable to her, as if the past 23 years were nothing more than a placeholder for the next thrill. Linda still turned heads at 44. There was no denying that. Her confidence, her figure, the way strangers looked at her when we walked into a room used to fill me with pride. I'd think to myself, she's mine. And I told her that often. Every single day I reminded her how beautiful she was. How lucky I felt. I praised her, adored her, poured my love into every word. But she never accepted it. She'd always wave it off, tell me she felt old, like her glow was fading. Like she'd already crossed some invisible line into invisibility. Enter John Monroe. The polished, silver-tongued VP from her office. Tall. Confident. Charming in that effortless kind of way. Somehow he became the man who made her feel seen again. He convinced her she was still radiant, still desired. He offered her escape. And what was I left with? I became background noise in my own marriage. A dependable presence. A man she no longer looked at with spark in her eyes. I had been reduced to a role, her husband on paper, invisible in practice. The truth? I'd seen the signs. I just didn't want to face them. Denial is a strange comfort when you're terrified of the truth. With a long, heavy sigh, I brought my focus back to my phone. An email from my lawyer had just come in. Everything was lined up, papers ready, the legal process was about to begin. It felt surreal but also inevitable. Then another message arrived. This one more vague, cryptic in its tone. But it held the confirmation I had been waiting on for weeks. The individual you were asking about got involved in a robbery. Serious trouble. And just like that, another piece of the puzzle locked into place. I closed the message without replying. It auto-deleted the moment I exited. The final email I checked confirmed what I had been waiting to see. My resignation had officially gone through. My 401k stock options. Everything had been liquidated and moved over to a private account. Financially I was stable. Not rich but secure. Enough to breathe. That was all I needed right now. I was just about to shift into drive and head back down the road when my phone lit up again. The name on the screen made my stomach tighten. Linda. I exhaled slowly, pressing the screen to answer. It had to happen eventually. Like tearing off a bandage, fast and clean. No hesitation. No emotion. Hey, Linda. Her voice came through like a storm. What the hell, Jack? Where are you? You weren't at the airport. You didn't come home. No note. Nothing. I've been calling and texting for days. What is going on with you? I let a heavy pause stretch between us. I wanted the silence to land first, to say more than words could. When I finally spoke, my voice was cold, steady, but drained of the warmth she used to know. I figured you wouldn't care, Linda. Isn't that how double lives work? What? She shot back, voice cracking. What are you talking about? Jack, I don't understand. You know I have to travel for work. Now she sounded nervous, maybe even scared. But it wasn't fear of losing me, it was fear of losing control. And why aren't the kids answering me? Where's our mattress? I had to sleep in the guest room last night. Jack, what is happening? I gripped the steering wheel tightly, my knuckles whitening. I kept my eyes on the road ahead. You're living in a world you created, Linda. A twilight zone of your own making. Her breath caught. Jack, what are you saying? Please just tell me where you are. Please. It doesn't matter where I am, I said flatly. What matters is that I'm not coming back. I let that sink in before continuing. I wasn't ignoring you last week. I was busy. Busy trying to figure out how to walk away from the biggest betrayal of my life, and start over. That word, betrayal, hung in the air like a gunshot. I heard her breath catch again, this time with more urgency. But she didn't drop the act. Jack, are you drinking? What betrayal? What are you even saying? I laughed once, bitterly. Let's cut the performance, Linda. Tell me, how was your 3-day banking seminar? I didn't give her time to answer. Did that scumbag John Monroe sleep next to you every night, or just the first and last? There was a sharp inhale on her end. Silence followed. She wasn't ready for that. It took her several seconds to find words again. What the hell are you saying? What, John? Why are you making up these stories? Jack, I'm your wife. Yes, Linda, I said quietly, each word deliberate. You are my wife, and yet. I honestly find it unbelievable that you still have the nerve to call this a marriage, I said, my voice steady but low. After 23 years, could you at least give me one thing, your honesty? I know you've shown me zero respect lately, not even a flicker of care. But now that the lies are starting to crumble, why not finally tell the truth? Just once. Her voice came back, but it had lost its bite, soft now, shaky. I don't know what you think is going on, but you're wrong. You're really wrong. I love you. There's nothing between me and John Monroe. I let that sit for a moment before answering. Well, I guess we're making progress. At least now you're admitting which John I'm referring to. For a second there, I was beginning to wonder how many there were. The silence that followed was deafening. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Linda, I said quieter this time. Did you honestly believe you'd never be found out? Or, did you just stop caring? Was it easier to lie than to admit you didn't want this anymore? You could have asked for a divorce. You didn't have to drag us through this mess. Why lie? Why cheat? Why didn't you just walk away before tearing us apart? That cracked something in her. She broke down, her voice trembling, barely holding itself together. Jack, please don't say that. Don't talk about divorce. You have to believe me. I do love you. Nothing is going on. Please, just come home. Let's talk. Face to face. We can fix this. But she was still pretending. Even now, she couldn't let go of the act. Still holding on to the hope that I was the same gullible man who had always believed her, who never pressed too hard. She didn't realize that version of me was gone. So you're really standing by that? I asked. You never slept with Monroe in our bedroom? On the now mysteriously missing king-size mattress. Her voice jumped in, loud and defensive. No, of course not. Jack, what the hell are you even saying? That's insane. I didn't reply right away. Instead, I opened my photo gallery, selected an image I had seen more times than I care to admit. One of many. There he was, John Monroe, hands wrapped tightly around Linda's waist from behind, her body arched, her face contorted in a way that needed no explanation. His expression, strained and focused, told the rest of the story. The photo had been taken by a small hidden camera I installed inside the digital clock on our dresser. A quiet purchase I'd made about a month ago after someone tipped me off. Someone who saw something at the office, someone who knew I deserved to know the truth. I sent the image. Then I returned to the call. Linda, check your phone, I said. Go ahead, look at the photo I just sent you. I gave her a few seconds. Now you tell me, is that not my wife? In my bed? In our bedroom? Having unprotected sex with her boss. I heard the sound of something falling, her phone, I assumed, followed by a raw, guttural sob that pierced the silence. A broken, panicked whisper escaped her lips. Oh God, no. Jack, please, please, I didn't mean for this to happen. It was a mistake. Just once. It meant nothing. He was younger, he wanted me, he made me feel desirable again. Alive. It was a stupid, selfish moment of weakness. I never meant to hurt you. She kept talking, her voice unraveling, trying to thread some kind of reason through her betrayal. But to me it was all static now. Just noise. Linda, I said coldly, look outside. Toward the backyard. I waited a beat. Do you see that pile of charred metal and ash? That was our mattress. The one you and Monroe defiled. I burned it. Because to me it represents everything you destroyed. She said nothing, just soft sobs on the other end of the line. You lit a match to our marriage, Linda. You humiliated me. You shattered our family. For what? A cheap thrill? Some fleeting attention? Tell me, when did you start hating me this much? When did I become disposable to you? When did we stop matching? Her voice cracked open again, barely holding itself together. Jack, no. I could never hate you. I love you, I swear I do. Please don't leave me. It was a terrible mistake, but it didn't mean anything, I promise you. I let out a long sigh, the weight of everything pressing down. Linda, the kids and I, were done. Done with the lies. Done pretending. Her voice hitched again. Is that why they won't answer me? Jack, did you turn them against me? My hand tightened around the phone. That accusation, it hit differently. Blaming me? Are you seriously trying to spin this on me? I didn't even raise my voice. I didn't have to. I never told them a word. They came to me, Linda. Do you understand that? The kids saw what was happening before I did. They were the ones who told me. I let that settle in. Do you even realize how much pain you caused them? How torn up they were? You broke their hearts, Linda. Do you know how hard it was for them to decide whether or not to tell me what they saw? There was a silence so heavy it felt like the call had dropped, until I heard her whisper again, barely audible. It was just once, it was meaningless. Please, Jack, please believe me. I clenched my jaw, keeping my voice calm but firm. It wasn't just once. Don't insult me with that lie. I paused. This has been going on for months. At the very least. You shut us out long before I ever knew what was happening. You stopped talking to me like a partner. You stopped looking at me like someone you loved. You stopped being with me unless it was out of pity. She tried to interrupt, stammer something, but I didn't let her. Linda. Ryan came home unexpectedly one day. He was just stopping by to grab a few tools, I said quietly. That's all. That's all it was supposed to be. I let the silence hang before continuing. But instead he found you. In our bedroom. With your boss. You didn't hear him come in, he heard you. Heard the sounds. He saw it with his own eyes. His mother, moaning under another man. Her breathing turned ragged. She didn't speak. Couldn't, maybe. He didn't tell me right away. I went on, my voice flat. It took him 2 weeks to find the courage. 2 weeks of holding that image in his head, trying to make sense of it. Then he and Krista sat me down one night. And they told me everything. I paused again, the weight of that memory crashing into me like a wave. We all cried that night. We felt sick. All of us. Physically ill. It broke something in them, Linda. I tapped my screen and sent the next image, Ryan's photo. The one that shattered the illusion once and for all. Check your phone again, I said coldly. That was the moment it all began to fall apart. That's when your son caught you. That's the image burned into his mind. How do you think he feels? Living with that? Knowing what he saw? How do you think Krista felt when she found out what you did? I didn't wait for an answer. Do you honestly believe they'll ever trust you again? Ever respect you after this? Her breath came in sharp gasps now, like she was barely keeping herself together. Jack, please let me explain. No, my tone was final. No more lies. No more trying to twist this into something smaller than it is. No more excuses. I could hear her crumbling, sobs overtaking her words, her composure breaking apart completely. Oh God, Jack, I'm so sorry, please, you have to believe me. I lost my mind, I don't know what came over me. But it's over. It meant nothing, it was cheap, meaningless. Just a mistake. I never loved him. I love you. I love our family. Please, Jack, come home. Let me fix this. I closed my eyes, took a slow breath, and spoke softly. Linda, there is no us anymore. I let that truth settle between us. We're finished. You don't love me, you never respected me. You don't care about anyone but yourself. And because of that, because of the lies and betrayal, I can't ever trust you again. You poisoned everything we built. My voice sharpened slightly. Tell me, Linda, was it just Monroe? Or were there others? Should I be getting a DNA test for our children too? She let out a strangled cry, devastated. Jack, no, please. I swear to you there was no one else. You have to believe me. I don't believe anything that comes out of your mouth anymore, I said flatly. And of course I need to get tested. I have no idea what you've exposed me to. You've destroyed everything, Linda. Everything. I took another breath, steadier this time. You made me disposable. Just something to leave behind when someone more exciting came along. So now I'm doing the same. I'm throwing you away. She wailed softly on the other end of the line, the sound hollow and helpless. Maybe one day the kids will find it in their hearts to forgive you. But I won't. I never will. There was a pause, then her voice broke through, desperate, frantic. Jack, please don't say that. I'll do anything. I'll go to therapy. I'll change. You can even sleep with other women if that's what it takes. Just don't leave me. Please. Don't walk away. I lived with the guilt every single day, she cried, her voice trembling. I didn't want to keep doing it, Jack. I swear I tried to stop. But every time, I came back to you. It was just a fling, stupid and meaningless. Please, God, just forgive me. But my voice didn't waver. It's over, Linda. Goodbye. And I hung up. She tried calling back immediately, but I didn't even let it ring through. I spoke aloud even though she wasn't there to hear it. I'm sorry, Linda. Really. But save your breath. I don't believe anything you say anymore. And honestly, I just don't care. I opened my contacts and blocked her number. Then I sent her one last message, written plainly with no emotion left in me. Now listen carefully. This coming Monday you'll be served with divorce papers. At the bank. Within seconds my phone rang again. Same name. Same panic. Jack, no. Please don't do this. Please, not divorce. Please, I'm begging you. I answered one final time. Linda, listen. John Monroe's wife already has the photos and videos. All of it. Everything, every second of your little escapade with him in our home on my bed. So it looks like you and your lover are going to have each other after all, once his wife and I are both gone. Her voice turned to a horrified whisper. Jack, please tell me you didn't send her those. He has a wife. He has kids. Why would you destroy their family too? I let out a laugh, a cold, empty thing completely devoid of humor. Wow, you really don't get it, do you? I didn't destroy their family, Linda. You and John did. You think this was just about you and me? No. This affair didn't just wreck my world, it torched yours too. It broke our children. It's tearing his wife apart. And you dragged his kids through it too. 8 lives shattered. I paused, then added, and you know what's worse? I don't even think you care. She broke down then. Completely. I could hear the sobs spilling out from the other side of the call, raw and uncontrolled. But I wasn't done. And there's more, Linda. Your precious boss? He'll be facing a civil lawsuit. Alienation of affection. North Carolina doesn't take kindly to cheaters, especially when they're in positions of power. And as it turns out, Monroe had some bad luck recently. I let that hang in the air. A friend of mine told me he was mugged outside the airport. Parking lot. Severe injuries. He's in the hospital now. Pretty serious condition. Might be a while before he's able to supervise you again. Jack, stop, she cried. Please. Stop being so cruel. I don't care about him. I only care about you. Don't do this to us. But there was no us. Not anymore. Linda, there is no us. That ship has sunk. And by the end of next week, there might not be a you at Commerce Bank USA either. I gave her a moment to digest that before I finished. I've already sent the full set of photos and documentation to the bank's president and every member of the board, along with the alienation of affection claim. And you know what else? There's also a possible sexual harassment suit sitting on the table. If they want to avoid scandal, they'll settle. Quietly. I'll push for them to let you keep your job, I said flatly. But I'll make sure they fire him. For cause. No, Jack, please don't do this, she whispered, her voice barely holding. Do you really hate me that much? I exhaled slowly. The weight of it all pressed hard against my chest, but I didn't let it break me. Linda, you showed your hatred the moment you betrayed me. You took the love I gave you, the trust one protected for over 2 decades, and tore it apart with lies, with disrespect, with silence. I'm not trying to destroy you. I'm just trying to reclaim whatever dignity I still have before our lives split off for good. She was sobbing openly now, her breath hitching, barely able to form words. I fought to keep my own emotions from boiling over. But I had to finish. We're almost done here, Linda. Try to listen. I paused, bracing myself. I took $125,000 from our joint savings. I used $25,000 to cover Krista's next 2 years of college. I'll support her however I can going forward, but for now, that's all I can manage. She didn't say a word. Just the soft sound of her crying in the background. You're getting the house, I continued. It's in your name anyway. There's roughly $100,000 in equity if you sell it today. It's yours. I won't sell our house, Jack, she broke in, her voice cracking. Please, stop this madness. Come home. We can still fix this, for the sake of the 23 years we shared before I lost my way. But I didn't let her deter me. I stayed focused. If you sign the divorce papers, I said, you get the house and everything inside it. All of it. I'll take the remaining $100,000 and walk away. We'll be done. I left a pause long enough for her to understand what I was offering. If you want to fight it, go ahead. Drag it out. Say whatever you want in court. I won't be around to argue. Silence. Just the sound of her ragged, broken breathing on the other end of the line. There are a few more things you should know, I added, quieter now. If you look around, you'll see I've already moved out. I took what mattered to me. What's left, it's yours now. I swallowed hard. The wedding albums, keep them, burn them, toss them, I don't care. They don't mean what they used to. I hesitated one last time before finishing. I left my wedding ring on the dresser. Melt it, pawn it, flush it, do whatever you want. Same as you did with our marriage. That's when I heard it, a sharp, uncontrollable sob ripping out of her. Real, unfiltered anguish. But it was too late. I kept going, unwavering now. There was no turning back. Ryan will be coming by soon to grab some of my fishing and hunting gear. He made it clear he doesn't want to see you. He'll come when you're not home. I paused for a moment, letting that land before continuing. Krista will stop by too, just to collect her things. She's made up her mind. She has no intention of ever living there again. She asked me to let you know, not to be surprised when you find her room empty. On the other end of the line, Linda's cries had shifted into something deeper, anguished, hopeless wails. But I wasn't finished. There's one last thing, Linda, I said, my voice steady, cold in its finality. I sent the pictures, the ones of you and Monroe, to both our families. Your parents. My parents. Everyone in our email contact list. So, you might want to start figuring out what version of the story you're going to tell them. I drew in a deep breath. Because I won't let you rewrite this. I won't be the villain in a story you created. Her sobs turned frantic, nearly incoherent now. She sounded like she might collapse under the weight of it all, and for a second part of me hesitated. But only for a second. This had to end. There's one more thing, I said quietly. Last week, I quit my job. I'm leaving the state. Heading into the unknown. I stared out the window, the early evening sky painted in streaks of gold and gray. I don't know where I'll end up, but I'm chasing something better. Something honest. I want to find someone who means it when they say, forever. Someone who honors the vows they make. Someone who sees me, really sees me, and treats me like a partner, not a placeholder. I softened my tone, but only slightly. I hope you find whatever it was you were searching for too. A strangled scream tore from her throat, raw and desperate. No. No, please, please don't go. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. But I'd already heard everything I needed to. I ended the call. The phone slipped from my hand as I sank onto the bed, my chest tightening, my body finally giving in to the pain I had tried so hard to outrun. Sobs broke from me in waves. Not out of weakness, but out of mourning. Mourning the life I thought I had. The love I thought was real. Had I gone too far? Maybe. But I also knew. I might never forgive her. The road ahead would be long, uncertain, and full of wounds still healing. But I wouldn't let it turn me bitter. I wouldn't let her betrayal be the end of my story. There's still beauty out there. There's still wonder, still light somewhere beyond the horizon. And I intend to find it. I just have to keep walking forward. Dear listeners, if you've made it this far, thank you. This one came straight from the heart. If anything I shared today resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you think this story might help someone else, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, stay strong and keep moving forward.